Welcome to Beyond the Broadsheet, a podcast by the Lincoln County News. We are a community newspaper based in Mid-Coast, Maine, and we provide the most comprehensive, in-depth coverage available anywhere of the 18 towns and one plantation that make up Lincoln County. My name is Christina Wallace, and I am a reporter here at Lincoln County News, covering the towns of Noblesboro, Bremen, Bristol, and South Bristol.
And I'm Allie. I'm also a reporter here at LCN covering Edgecombe, Whitefield, Damariscotta, and Newcastle.
So last week was the summer solstice, and we talked a little bit about fun summer things to do in Lincoln County. So this week I thought we could kind of continue that conversation, but talk about dog-friendly summer things to do in Lincoln County.
I love
it. It is my dog's first day in the office, important to note. So I thought this would be a fun little thing we could talk about.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. But first, here are some of the top stories from Thursday, June 24th edition of the Lincoln County News.
So to start off, we had Madomic softball outduel Herman for state championships. And this story was by Paula Roberts. MVHS softball beat out Herman 1-0 at UMaine on Saturday, June 21st. And sophomore pitcher Sydney Nichols pitched, struck out 12, walked 1, and surrendered just 3 hits. I'm assuming that is impressive. And her mom, Katie Nichols, was a state champion pitcher for Erskine 25 years ago. So guess it runs in the blood. There's another story by Paula Roberts in our sports section this week. So, yeah, congrats, Madomic.
Yeah,
that's awesome for y'all.
All right. There were rented generators keep Monhegan power throughout outage. And this story was by Molly Rains, who can't be here today.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. She will be here next week, though.
Yes, don't worry.
So the island plantation of Monhegan has been dealing with a power outage since Tuesday, June 17th. And this was due to an equipment failure. Lincoln County EMA sent out some emergency generators and drinking water on Thursday, June 19th, with the help of the U.S. Coast Guard. The next day, they sent a bigger generator over, and eventually the island's power district rented a generator to keep people powered. Monhegan's drinking water supply relies on their power being on, and it's also the start of tourist season. So it's a tough time for this to happen, but they're working with an electrician to address the issue.
It's intense stuff.
Yeah, and definitely not a great time for this to happen considering how hot it's been over the past week. So I can't even imagine what that must have been like.
No, I don't have AC in my apartment. I only have a fan. And even like with the fan, I'm struggling. I couldn't imagine just absolutely nothing. So
yeah, that's rough.
All the best with them. In other news, Westport Island voters approved a $3 million municipal budget. This story was by Charlotte Boynton. And at their town meeting on Saturday, June 21st, voters on Westport Island approved every article authorizing a $3,066,929 municipal budget, which was 10% or $297,977 higher from last year. They also agreed to lease the Wright House to Friends of Westport Island History for a term of 99 years. Friends of Westport Island History will take over the cost of maintenance of the house.
Awesome. And it looks like you got to go to a fun event.
Oh, I did. Yes. I got to go to Be Aware's Juneteenth event. It's their 4th annual one, and it was at the Coastal Rivers Salt Bay Farm in Damariscotta on Thursday. You'd never guess, on June 19th. And it was really cool. It was cool to see everyone gathered to just, learn about the history of Juneteenth and get to celebrate what the holiday marks, the official widespread acknowledgement of the Emancipation Proclamation. So, yeah. One attendee, Erica Quayle, who was there with her kids, said, "Neither of our kids really know what Juneteenth is about. This is a way to cement it in their mind." So
that's really sweet.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to teach kids about history, things like that, to have a celebration.
Totally. And everyone was, getting to enjoy, eat cake, just like have some really good associations. And it sounded like that was a big goal for the organizers to just make it a good event for everyone.
Absolutely. So I got to sit down with a South Bristol resident who wants to share his life lessons through a new memoir. So what started as a private family memoir to share his life stories with his grandchildren turned into a much bigger project when Bob Montgomery of South Bristol partnered with local author and ghostwriter Hank Haskell. So Montgomery was born into a military family and he moved around a lot. And he said that this gave him a really unique perspective on life. He said, "My ideas are very collective because I had a very unusual life. A lot of life lessons were gleaned through my father being transferred across the country." So as he grew up, he also aided in building up the tourist town of Killington, Vermont, and they have a very big ski population there. And so Montgomery helped a lot with that. So as life went on and he had grandchildren, he really wanted to pass down these stories to them. And so he discovered local author Hank Haskell, and he ended up collaborating with him. Haskell has published 14 books, 5 of which were published here at Lincoln County News, including his memoir, which he's called Life Lessons. Mm-hmm. And he had never written about a living person before. So this was his first time tackling someone who's alive. And he said that he was up for the challenge. Wow. So he interviewed him over the period of 8 months to hear about his life story. And Montgomery said that Haskell had completely taken this above and beyond and really turned this into a much bigger project. So now he's hoping that this book can resonate with residents of South Bristol and maybe bring back some memories to some of the older folks. And also, you know, really pass down his lessons to the younger generation. Yeah, so awesome. Life Lessons is currently available for purchase at Harborside Cafe in South Bristol, and it will soon be available for purchase at all Sherman's bookstore locations in Lincoln County. And he has dedicated this book to his late wife, Dee, and the profits from the book will be going towards her scholarship fund, which is the Diane Martin Montgomery Scholarship Foundation.
It's very cool. Yeah. It was interesting to hear all the background about this guy as you were reporting out on it. So
we had a great conversation. So it was a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah. So another story covered by our own Molly Rains. Somerville voters elected new officers and approved their $760,000 budget. Andrew Holmes was elected to the select board, and C.J. Rideout was elected to the office of road commissioner. Both were uncontested in those elections. And 50 people came out for the open portion of their town meeting and passed their budget of $759,864, which is $42,453 less than the previous year. This is the first budget I've seen that's a decrease, which is funny. Select Board Chair Willard Pierpoint called the budget a roll of the dice. Somerville is behind on audit, so the Select Board has emphasized that they are not confident with the numbers they used to come up with the budget. They found cuts in various places to decrease the budget this year, including Rideout declined his $12,000 road commissioner salary, and the select board cut their salaries from $1,500 to $500 each. Wow. Yeah. So they're spending $18,000 for the first year of a 2-year arrangement with financial consultant Christopher Backman, the town manager of Orrington. And Backman was brought on to get the town's books in order to prepare for an audit. There's no formal request for proposals or RFP issued for this contract, which is going to cost the town $36,000 over 2 years, resident Jim Greenier said at town meeting. He believed this was in violation of the town's purchasing policy, which requires an RFP for contracts above a certain amount. But Pierpoint said, when reached later by phone, that he could not find any such policy on file. I also just want to point out that Somerville's annual town meeting was pushed back because they were struggling to get the warrant together.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But they got it done at least.
That's good. That's good. Nobleboro Select Board hears a proposal for a sex offender ordinance. So the Nobleboro Select Board has received a request from Town Clerk Emerald Friend that the town enact a sex offender ordinance, which would impose restrictions on where people can live if they've been convicted of offenses against people younger than 14 years of age. Waldoboro just enacted a similar ordinance at their town meeting in June. And Friend said, "I think our children are people we really need to protect. I think it's important." And the board will consider other neighboring towns' ordinances and listen to input from community members before deciding whether to move forward with the ordinance. So the way I understood it is the state of Maine leaves it up to the individual towns to impose their own ordinances on that, and Nobleboro currently does not have one. So
interesting.
Yeah, they're in the process of doing that.
Wow. Yeah, that is news to me.
Yeah.
In other news, new member joins the Lincoln and Sagadahoc Multi-County Jail Authority recently. Molly Rains also reported on this. Judy Tunkel of Dresden said she was looking forward to bringing her background in prison ministry and her professional knowledge as a retired psychotherapist to her work as part of the Multi-County Jail Authority. Her main concern is that people are not getting the services they need at Two Bridges. Usually the length of stay at a jail is shorter than a prison, but a number of factors have combined to mean that folks are staying at Two Bridges for a decently long time. Tunkel said this is a concern, and she's interested in learning more about the services these people can access while they're incarcerated. She was confirmed as a community rep on the board during the Tuesday, June 17th meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners. So, very interesting. Cool to see that she has some goals going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So another story by Molly Rains. Two transported by life flight after Route 17 crash in Jefferson. So two cars collided head-on on Route 17 on the Rockland Road at the Jefferson-Whitefield line on Friday, June 20th. The road was shut down for several hours, and two individuals were transported with serious injuries to Bangor for medical treatment by Life Flight of Maine. The crash is currently still under investigation, and I hope those people are doing well. Definitely not good news to hear, but we wish them a speedy recovery.
Yeah, I went out to the crash with Molly, and, one of the first breaking news things to go to, and definitely intense, and just really hoping the best for them right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But last week, I ended up going to the Newcastle Select Board meeting, and out there, I found out that the Newcastle Nobleboro Alewife Fish Committee discovered that the alewife revenue this year was only $14,550, which is pretty low compared to most years. Karen Paz, the select board member who went out, said this was the weirdest year for alewife harvesting here and in a large swath of mid-coast Maine. Because usually the fish ladder here, it produces about $50,446 in revenue a year. It fluctuates to some degree because it's very dependent on weather conditions, but 14,000 is a big difference from 53.
I would say so.
Yes, and Paz said it shouldn't be a cause for concern right now. It's a different story if it ends up that this is kind of a continuing trend, but for now, nothing to worry about.
That's good. Our character of the county this week is Lisa Brackett, and this was written by Jonathan Riley. It's a character of the county from Monhegan, which is a rare and exciting occurrence. So Lisa Brackett is certainly deserving of the feature. She's Monhegan's town clerk, tax collector, registrar of voters, manager of the bait bag, and former owner of the Bristol Diner. So she does quite a bit.
It's a stacked resume.
Yes. She grew up in New Harbor and is a graduate of Lincoln Academy. And to read more about her life story, you can see the front page of this week's edition.
So exciting. I love it.
So, on to our dog-friendly stuff, which, as a new dog owner I'm super excited about. And I did quite a bit of research going into this because, you know, my fiance and I are always looking for new places we can take our dog, Raphael, that are going to be very accepting of dogs because, you know, he's still a baby. He can't really be left alone at home for that often. And we want to take him with us. You know? So we've put together some attractions and restaurants that are dog friendly in Lincoln County. The first one on the list is one I'm super excited about, and I have wanted to go here since I moved to Lincoln County, but it's the Boothbay Railway Village. So the Boothbay Railroad Village Museum displays artifacts, authentic period structures, and technologies that were used in Maine during the mid-19th through mid-20th centuries. They use their land and village setup to educate and engage adults and children in what Maine village life was like during that period. They have many interesting features in their village, such as the Thorndike Station, where you can take a ride on a train around the village, which I am particularly excited about. They also have museums that preserve and display artifacts from the past, restored vintage cars, several shops, and even goats. Well-behaved dogs are allowed on leashes throughout the village, and they even have a pet way station that was a gift from Two Salty Dogs Pet Outfitters. They are open Tuesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they are closed on Mondays. For more information, you can visit railwayvillage.org.
That's awesome. Yeah. Who doesn't want to bring their dog to the railway village?
I know, right? I really want to see how Rafa would react to being on a train. I'm very curious.
I think that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. I was a big fan of trains as a kid, so.
Oh, yeah. You got to get them started early.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Up next, we have Cap'n Fish's Cruises, which is also in Boothbay Harbor and offers tours around the harbor, including whale watching, bird watching, scenic cruises, and specialty cruises that include music, cocktail hour, even fireworks.
Ooh.
Yes. And dogs are welcome on all those trips, except for the music and fireworks cruises. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Understandable. And fees will vary by person and tour, and dogs will require a separate ticket. But you can find out more information, book your tickets at boothbayboattrips.com.
I'm also very excited to see how Rafa would react to a whale. I went whale watching last year, and it was the best experience ever. So I'm very interested to see how the dogs would react to that. But I'm so glad that they're very accommodating.
Yes, for sure.
Glidden Point Oyster Farms. Glidden Point Oyster Farms in Edgecombe offers tours of the oyster farm operations. You can order from their selection of oysters that were hand harvested from their own Glidden Point farm, which they say has unmatched flavor and quality. They also have oysters from some of Maine's most renowned oyster farms. They are located right along the Damariscotta River, and they have daily tours at 11:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. And they are open daily from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you can just either take a tour or go visit.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well-behaved dogs are allowed on site as long as they're on a leash. And for more information, you can visit gliddenpoint.com.
Very cool.
We were talking about having you try some oysters too. So this might be a good opportunity for us to go to.
Yeah, I want Raf to be there to see my reaction. So this is perfect.
Exactly.
Another option we got for you is the Cloud Point Preserve, which is within Westport Island in Wiscasset and features easy to moderate hiking trails, vernal pools, and a view of the Sheepscot River. Westport Island has several conserved parcels of land for public enjoyment, and it's a great place to walk with your dog. And all dogs must be on leashes at the preserve. You can call 882-8477 or visit westportisland.gov for some more info.
I always love a good nature preserve.
Oh, yeah.
And out here, it's super beautiful, too.
Yes. So. Gotta take them out.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out. So I wanted to add some restaurants to this list. what I have noticed since moving here is that restaurants in Lincoln County are pretty dog friendly. They're very accommodating.
That's awesome.
Pretty much anywhere with outdoor seating. I don't want to say everywhere, but a lot of places with outdoor seating are really good at accommodating dogs. So it would have been way too much for me to list every single restaurant. So I just included a couple that I found particularly noteworthy.
Yes.
So the first on the list is the Lobster Hall, which is a dog-friendly restaurant in downtown Damariscotta that has outdoor tables in their courtyard where you and your pups can enjoy a meal. They serve signature seafood rolls filled with lobster or crab, or if you're feeling a little wild, even both.
Whoa there.
They also have a whole host of other seafood on their menu, such as seafood tacos, steamed clams and lobster, fish and chips, lobster stew, and haddock chowder. Okay. And for those of you that are not big seafood fans, they also offer other options such as hot dogs, burgers, and grilled cheese. And they say that everything is made fresh in-house. So dogs are welcome in their outdoor seating area. And for more information, you can visit thelobsterhall.com or call 682-0110.
I've passed by the Lobster Hall so many times.
I know.
And I didn't even realize they had a courtyard. So
I know.
This is making me very I must go soon.
Exactly. I think I've driven past it once or twice, and it's so cute.
Dang.
And so I'm definitely excited to go check it out. And it sounds like they have really good food. So.
Awesome. Another great spot to go with your dog. We got Coveside Restaurant and Marina, which is located in South Bristol. It has outdoor seating on their deck for you and your dog to enjoy a view of the sailboats in the cove. They have a wide variety of seafood, burgers, and baskets, along with a wide variety of appetizers. They also have live music, so you and the dog,
I know,
enjoy some live music together. What more could you want?
We have to find out what his favorite genre is.
Certainly.
So we've got to expose him to all of these things.
They also have a marina with moorings, which is available for booking. So hit the music, hit the mooring.
Yeah.
Got it all. You can find their summer schedule on their website at covesiderestaurant.com.
I think summer is the perfect time for live music.
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely want to go get those opportunities with the rafter.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a good chance I'm going to mispronounce this next word because I am not originally from Lincoln County. So I do apologize if it's mispronounced.
It's good you're putting out the word.
I know. I'm doing my best. So I think it's Muscongus. I'm pretty sure.
That's right.
Muscongus Bay Lobster. It's located in Round Pond, and it's a seasonal eatery that specializes in fresh seafare. They are open Wednesday through Sunday, 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. And dogs are allowed in their outdoor seating, and that has a great view of the water. And they serve hard and soft shell lobsters, lobster and crab rolls, house pasta, and even fish tacos. They are a family-owned and operated business, and they also often have live music. So that's another good option to go to.
Awesome.
You can visit mainfreshlobster.com or call 529-5528.
Very nice.
And from what I understand, they also do wholesale.
Ooh,
so
okay.
you could go just get some lobster.
Yeah.
Just not necessarily have to eat there, but get some fresh lobster. So they kind of do a lot of things. So definitely get to check out.
Yeah, they do it all.
Yeah.
Our last recommendation is Red's Eats, the classic spot, the spot you always see with the line down the street. And so this place is a popular eatery, serving lobster rolls, hamburgers, and hot dogs, but I think most people are going there for the lobster rolls.
100%.
They have 2 dog-friendly decks where you and your leashed pup can enjoy a view of Sheepsgoat River. They also provide their furry guests with water and dog bones, which is so nice.
I love that so much. When I discovered that, I'm like, I have to include this because any restaurant that goes above and beyond to just accommodate a dog and make them feel super loved and special is an A+ in my book.
Oh yeah, not only can they come, they get to be involved in the dining experience.
Exactly. There is no better feeling than when you're at a restaurant and the waiter or waitress brings out a little bowl of water for your dog.
Yes.
It's so great.
The little things matter.
Exactly.
If you want some more info, you can go to redseatsmaine.com or call 882-1236. Or you can just ask about any local person around here and they'll tell you about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And of course there's so many more dog friendly places, but it's kind of hard to include them all. If you're unsure, I would always call and just double check with the business, make sure that they're cool with it. Make sure your dog's well behaved, keep them on a leash, and let them enjoy the summer.
100%.
Because they deserve some fun too. The summer activities are not just for humans.
Yeah. There's no excuse with all these options.
Exactly. And also, one thing I didn't put on the list, but one place that me and Ralph love going is Barrett Park in Boothbay. And they are super dog friendly. You can let your dog off their leash, run around, and they have a little beach area. And my fiance and I took Ralph to go swimming for the first time. And it was so cute. He was so hesitant to get in the water, but once he was in, he didn't want to leave. And we were trying to pull him out, and he just stood there, digging his feet into the sand, and it was really cute.
That is so sweet.
Yeah, so definitely some great options.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's it for today. But we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, thank y'all.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Beyond the Broadsheet, a podcast by the Lincoln County News. This podcast is produced by Lucas McNelly and Maia Zewert. Tyler Davis of Tyality Productions provides production support. Our theme music is by Stu Mahan and LCN Associate Editor / bassist Sherwood Olin. The Lincoln County News hits newsstands across the county every Wednesday afternoon. And you can also access our work online at lcnme.com. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion, please email us at info@lcnme.com. As always, we're grateful for the support of our readers and listeners in Lincoln County and beyond. It's been great catching up today, and we'll talk with you again soon.